Tonight in RCVTV, we're going to be taking a look at the Dripbox 160 from Kangertech. Alright, so let's break down into what you get in the box with this guy, and then we'll talk about how to operate this thing and what is squonking. Alright, so the first thing you find in the box is the mod itself with your dripper already attached on the top. You have your goodie box. So inside this guy, you have a couple of things going on with it. So you got a manual itself, you have the standard Kanger authenticity checker, and then you have your actual goodies. So you do have a little baggie of spare grub screws, an Allen key, an O-ring, and two more Clapton coils. And then you have a little baggie of cotton. And then we also got a spare deck. So this was a different deck from the one that comes already installed on the dripper. This one only has two holes in the posts, and this one's got just standard single wires on both sides, so it's not clapped or anything like that. It's just single wrapped coil on both sides. You have an extra squonking box or squonking container itself, and you also have a micro USB cable. Now the cool thing about the extra squonking tube or container, whatever the heck you want to call it, it's actually got a little lid on it, so in case you wanted to carry different flavors around with you throughout the day or what have you, you can definitely still do that with the squonker. It's just a little bit more different. Alright, so let me grab the box itself and we'll talk about what squonking is. Alright, so we got the box itself. Alright, so top bit on this is your dripper. Now you can use different drippers for this. It is just a standard 510 Thread with a squonk pin installed on it. So you can just use a standard, like say a Velocity 2 or something like that with the squonk pin. But obviously you have to be using something with the squonk pins, which basically is just a normal 510, except it's got a hole going straight down the center. And that's what allows you to squeeze your bottle on the side to push juice up through the top. Alright, so it's actually kind of neat because it comes pre-installed with two Claptons, as well as it's pre-wicked for you. Now the top cap itself has just got airflow on this side and airflow on this side. Now when you pop the actual cap off the top here, and this is where you'd be dripping if you were using it other ways or changing your airflow, it's just got two little notches on both sides, and that's what allows your airflow to adjust. So you can push it in there and then you can close it off more or open it up more depending on how much air you kind of want to run this thing at. So you do have some options with the top cap, which is kind of nice. Now, the most interesting thing about their dripper is they try to make it as simple and as easy for you as possible. You don't have to build coils for this thing at all, and you also don't have to mount coils for this thing at all. You can actually, if you hold the deck and then spin out just the center deck, you can actually buy these guys. So it's threaded, threads right in, and you can either change up your deck style if you're going to be doing different types of builds, or it comes already installed with wire and cotton. So it's really dependent on how you want to use this thing, whether you want to learn how to build or you don't want to learn how to build and you just want to use this as Kanger intended it, then these are going to be your best option. So we'll just thread right back into the top here, and then that brings us to the box itself. So it is a 160 watt box. It's got temp control for nickel, titanium, stainless steel, and I believe even nichrome. It's dual 18650. Just pops down in the bottom there, and then you have this little guy right here. You just pull and slide down, and it's just magnetic. Pop it off right there, and then you can see your bottle sits right there. Now the easiest way to do this is to squeeze and push your bottle down, and that will pop your bottle out of this guy. Grab it, pull it right out. Perfect. Now you can see there's this little guy right here. He is actually your seal to the bottle itself. So when your bottle slides in, that'll go over your bottle, and as you push it up, it'll make sure it seals it, so the juice you squeeze through the bottle just travels up that tube right up into your actual addy at the top. push this all back together. Now, I'm going to throw some batteries in this thing. I'm just going to show you the basic operation of it. Now, you can see I kind of had to flip the batteries around there. It's because it's marked on here negative and positive, but it's actually underneath these little tabs at the top. So unless you actually bend it to look at it for yourself, it's kind of hard to see. And then close the whole thing back up. It should automatically boot on for you, but it is a simple operation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 off, and then it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on. And it says Kangertech, boots back up. And it's fairly simple. Up is up, down is down. 1, 2, 3 is to change your mode. So nickel, titanium, nichrome, and then you got your stainless steel, and then back to your wattage mode. Now, if you hold the up and the down button together for 3 seconds, it'll actually flip your screen for you. And if you hold power and down, power and up, it flips the color on your screen invert. Now, I'm going to throw some juice into the bottle, and I'm going to drip a little bit of juice down the top, and we're going to talk about how this thing works and what squonking actually is. So, for today's juice, we're going to be using Papa from the RCV single juice line. We got this thing at 3 milligrams. Now, what you're going to do first is pull that tab off the bottom. You're going to take your bottle out itself. You're going to fill your bottle up. Fill it up as much as you want. The fuller the bottle is, the easier it is going to be to actually get your juice up to your addy. There we go. Put this guy back in there. You're obviously going to want to do this so your juice cannot escape from your bottle. I'm going to pull my top cap off again. Now, I'm just going to grab a tool here and move that cotton out of the way so you can see what's kind of going on, if that's all possible. So if you look straight down the center there, there's that hole in there itself. So if I actually squeeze this bottle and keep gently squeezing it, eventually, there it is. You got some juice coming up into your deck. Now, concept is the very first time you stick coils in this in fresh cotton, you're going to want to wet it just like any other old dripper. But instead of popping the cap off from time to time and filling it, you're going to squeeze the bottle on the side, and it's going to slowly fill up your well, and that allows your cotton to absorb your juice. Now, the two downsides to this are, one, that means your wicks have to be long enough that they're going to touch your deck. Some people don't build like that, but if you already do, that's awesome. But otherwise, you do have to have your wicks touched down to the bottom of the deck. The second thing is you do have to think about it. You can't just go, oh, it's dry, and then squeeze. You still have to wait that little bit for your cotton to absorb it. So I got it all juiced up, and then I'm just going to give it one more squeeze, make sure it's really good at the bottom, and that's pretty much it. Now, for what squonking actually is, in case you haven't clued into it at this point, is essentially your atomizer has a hole going through it right to the bottom of the deck, all the way down into this bottle at the bottom. Now, sometimes they're plastic tubes or a metal tubing like the one that Kanger uses. Essentially what happens is you just squeeze your bottle and the juice will flow up automatically for you. You have to squeeze it a couple times if it's been a while to get the air out of the system and such like that, but it stops you from having to drip. So we're going to take this up top, and I'm going to have a quick vape on it, tell you guys how it vapes, and we'll say our goodbyes. So let's take a quick vape on this bad boy. So I've got it sitting at 67.5 watts. The coils that came installed in the dripper already, the MTL, came out at a 0.35. And let's give it a pull. Flavor on this little dripper that it comes with is actually not too bad at all. Quite surprised with it. The one thing I'm going to mention is that I feel like the cotton hits a little hard. It feels a little bit rougher than the cotton I'm used to. So if you're confident enough in re-wicking something like this, I'd probably pick up a little bit nicer cotton and try that out after you've had it for a couple days to see if that makes a difference for yourself. But I'm actually quite enjoying it. I've been using the avocado, which is another form of basically getting the flavor and the vapor production that you would get from a dripper without having to stop and drip. And this is kind of along the same kind of lines, but a little bit different, and I am quite enjoying it. The box is about the size of a rouleau. My fingers wrap around it fairly comfortable. It's not overly heavy. Battery life seems to be pretty decent so far from what I've used and what I've seen. But all in all, it's not a bad little mod, especially as a kit, since it comes with everything you kind of need right off the bat. So that pretty much covers it for this video. Thanks for watching, and as always,
subscribe to the channel, like the videos.
Follow us on Instagram and Twitter.
like us on Facebook, and until next time,
Make smart choices.